It is time for Game 7. The Minnesota Timberwolves on the road taking on the Denver Nuggets, the reigning NBA champs. My best bets are on the way. I'm amped up for this Game 7, and it's not just our only Game 7 of the day. We got two of them. I did a completely separate video on the Pacers and Knicks game. It was posted before this one. You can go check that out, see my favorite picks, player props, leans, who I think wins that game. But this is all about this Game 7. Timberwolves versus Nuggets. I'm amped up for this one. Only thing I ask for is a competitive game. I'm not asking for much, right? Every single game in this series has felt like very uncompetitive since like game 1. Give you a competitive game. But first and foremost, as I recapped in that Knicks Pacers video, went 0-2 yesterday. Not ideal. We lost Luka on the hook. He shot 60%. Go figure. That's what happens when I take unders. Those guys can't miss. And then SGA just did not grab enough boards. Got 3 assists. Had plenty of assist chances, but they obviously failed. 0-2. Not ideal, but we're going 2-0 in this video. We're going 2-0 in the Knicks Pacers video. We're going 4-0 on Sunday. So tap into those videos. Let's have ourselves a day. I do want to put a reminder out there. There is a great offer right now on Bet365. If you sign up, top link in the description. You bet $5 on either Game 7 today, you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So I believe Bet365 might be coming to Pennsylvania soon. I think that's in a couple weeks, but stay tuned for that. Either way, sign up. A bunch of different states it is available, and you get $150 in bonus bets using that link. Y'all came here for some NBA picks, and we have 2 overs today. 2 that I love. I'll talk about who I think wins, and have another player prop lean at the end of the video. The first one is going to be going to a guy that needs to show up for his team, and his name is Jamal Murray. Give me his over 19.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, no spoiler, Jamal Murray's been very up and down in this series, especially shooting the basketball. And if you were to just take his under every single game, you've been pretty profitable, but I think he goes over tonight. Let's talk about why. In this series, Murray, like I said, hasn't been great. He has scored 17, 8, 24, 19, 16, and 10 points. Now, in Game 2, shot 3 for 18. I would know because I took his over in that game. I took his over in points plus rebounds. He had a career-high 13 rebounds. Still couldn't come through. Well, he bounced back the next game, scoring 24 points. In Game 6, very similar. Shot 4 for 18. Can we get a bounce back in Game 7? I certainly hope so. And, well, it's hard to say, well, why don't you just take his under here? Well, hard to really factor in because if you talk about the whole series, out of the 6 games, 4 of them have been massive blowouts, whether the Nuggets are blowing them out or the Timberwolves are blowing them out. And, honestly, you're not going to cash a lot of overs either way if it's a blowout. That's just how it works. But I think at the end of the day, this should be a close game, right? This should be a competitive game. At least I hope so. In a Game 7, everyone's giving it all on their line. And we talked about in Game 6, Jamal Murray could not buy a bucket. Now, I'll give credit where credit's due. J.D. McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great defenders. If you go back and look at his shot chart, it was abysmal. And just look at this. This video clip should show exactly what I mean. He airballed a layup. I mean, that video went viral on Twitter as people are saying he bet his own under. Look, at the end of the day, I'm willing to trust Jamal Murray bouncing back at home. I mean, he could not buy a bucket. And while J.D. McDaniels he's a good defender. I'll give him credit where credit's due, 99th percentile defender. If you look at his 18 field goal attempts, I would bet 15 of them were pretty open. Maybe he had a late contest by J.D. McDaniels. Maybe Cat had a late contest. 15 of them, out of the 18, were pretty open, makeable shots. One of them, he got swatted. Jaden played great defense, but it's not like they were smothering him and Jamal Murray's like doing fadeaway 3-pointers, guys all over him. No, he's got wide open looks from 3 especially, just did not make them. I mean, you got Cat guarding Jokic, and he's in a heavy drop coverage, so Jamal was walking into some shots, just breaking them. But I expect him to bounce back here at home. He has scored 20 points in 21 of his last 30 games, 70% at home when he plays 36 or more minutes, and he's ended with 18 points in 27 of 30. So very high floor. We need an extra 2 points because 18 doesn't do us anything today. But at the end of the day, I will trust Jamal Murray in an elimination game. We know he has stepped up in the playoffs, in elimination games, and in closeout games. Typically plays pretty well. Obviously didn't play well in their last closeout game a few days ago, but I would be shocked. Even though he is a little bit questionable with an injury, he's playing tonight. He's playing a lot of minutes. If this game is competitive, which is a big if, I think he scores 20 points tonight. If you want to go to 25 to 30, I wouldn't be shocked. He has the volume to get to 30 points. Problem is, he just can't buy a bucket. But I think he starts making some shots here at home. We know he's going to have the ball in his hands nearly every possession. Him and Jokic, 2-man game, nonstop. He's going to get the open looks. Comes out if he makes the shots at home, where he's obviously a little bit more comfortable. I'll trust him to get the job done. Now, my second pick is going to go to a guy that we trusted a few days ago. He delivered. A little sweaty. He delivered. Today we're running it back with him, and it's the 6th man of the year, Naz Reid. I like his over 11.5 points plus rebounds, minus 125 on DraftKings. Personally, I'd play this at 12.5 as well. Now, I really liked Naz Reid in Game 5, and he delivered for us. And while it is a little sketchy, trusting the guy off the bench, Naz is pretty much locked into a reasonable rotation here. And even though this is a Game 7 where you see the starters play a lot of minutes. Naz is a guy that they trust out there and a guy that they typically want out there, especially for scoring. And you typically need some scoring in a game 7 because it's typically a lower scoring game, especially you see by the over-under, what's it like 198.5 here today. Now in game 5, Naz got the job done. He had 10 points. We only had his points in that game, but he had 11 rebounds. And he shot 4 of 12, 0 for 4 from 3. You look at so far the series, he's at 21, 10, 15, 8, 19, and 20 points plus rebounds. Like I said, he's gone what? There's 6 games that has gone over in 4 of 6. The games he hasn't, a couple games just didn't have great volume, but the last 2 games, he has missed wide open threes. I think, what is he, 0 for 7 from 3 in the last 2 games? It's not like they're contested. They're getting wide open looks. If you've watched how the Nuggets have defended Anthony Edwards, it is a lot of double teams. If he gets a screen set by Rudy Gobert, they're doubling him. And when they're doubling him, it leads to open shots for other guys. There's a reason Jaden McDaniels literally had wide open looks all last game. He made them, and maybe they guard him a little bit closer, but Naz Reid has been missing wide open shots. And I expect him to start making some shots for us here today. I mean, when you look at Naz Reid, well, sure, he is not going to play 30 minutes tonight, but there's a reasonable upside for him to play 15 to 23 minutes. And I think in those minutes, he shoots 5 to 8 shots, potential to shoot more. And this season, when he's played between 15 to 23 and shot 5 or more times, he's over in 73% of games. Look, there's minutes here because Rudy Gobert can't play all 48, and neither can Karl Anthony Towns. Plus, think about foul trouble. That man picks up the dumbest fouls I've ever seen, but the dumb fouls work in our favor today because you would see Naz Reid go in there because they like to have that 2 big man lineup. And I think we see Naz Reid get some open looks. He's had open looks the last few games. Hasn't really been knocking them down, still going over, but we know he can go out there and grab 11 rebounds like he did last game. We also saw them posting him up. You saw the Nuggets kind of putting Jamal Murray on Naz Reid, and we saw the Nuggets or T-Wolves not afraid to say, hey, you're going to put Jamal Murray on Naz Reid? Going to the post, we saw him working on the post, I believe, yesterday in practice. Look, if they're going to go one-on-one and Naz Reid on a smaller guy, I'll live with it. Naz Reid is a very capable scorer. There's a reason he won the 6th Man of the Year. I really like his over 11.5 points plus rebounds. If you just look at his individual lines, it's 8.5 points, 3.5 rebounds. Typically, that would conduce, you think that, that's like 11.5, 12. Typically, that would mean his line should be 12.5. Getting a little bit of a discount here at minus 125. I like Naz Reid today. He could do it in rebounds, he could do it in points. Honestly, there's a chance he could score 15 points today, and that wouldn't shock me. He's had the volume to get it done, just has to make some shots. And while he's on the road, a role player on the road, I trust Naz to get the job done. Give me his over 11.5 points plus rebounds. It also is a mile high, so we could see their big men get gassed easier. So we could see Naz Reid maybe see an uptick in minutes. Either way, I really think he has a good game. Give me Naz Reid over 11.5 points plus rebounds. Now, let's talk about leans in this game. Who do I think wins? I lean the Nuggets minus 4.5. It is not something, if you don't know which side to bet, you're like, Austin leans the Nuggets minus 4.5. Let me hammer that. No, it's not a pick that I'm putting any money on. I just would lean that way. If I had a player prop lean, I do like Mike Conley's over in points. As I said, with Anthony Edwards' analysis, he's been getting double teamed. I mean, last game we had his over in points. It should have hit. It wasn't a blowout, but they're not going to let Anthony Edwards beat them one-on-one. If he gets any screen set by him, they're going to go double him and trap him. And Mike Conley's going to be a guy that's going to get those kicks, get the passes kicked to him. And I did see them going under on screens for him. And it's a guy that, while he is 0-4 in Game 7, so do what you want with that, I really think Mike Conley shows up a little bit here today. He should get the minutes. I mean, he was playing 36-ish minutes if last game wasn't a blowout. So I like Mike Conley. He could be a slow starter, but maybe he should get that job done. But my 2 picks in this game that I would track towards my record, the ones I have on my own money on, Naz Reid points and rebounds, Jamal Murray over in points. It was a 2-0 day. Like I said at the top of the show, we have a separate video for Pacers versus Knicks Game 7, the earlier slate game. Go check it out. It's linked in the top of the description, linked in the pinned comment. Go check that out. I'll also link it on the screen here, as well as if you want to sign up for Bet365, get $150 in bonus bets. All those details also down below. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday. Let's try to go 4-0, 2-0 in this game, 2-0 in the next Pacers game. I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know when the next NBA game is. Maybe Tuesday. I'll see you guys then, as well as in some MLB videos. See you later. Peace.